How to answer 16-mark justify question. So this question is going to be your final question in your paper 3. It's worth 12 marks plus 4 Spag, 16-mark question. Let's have a look then. So it's going to give you 3 options and ask you to choose one option. So study the 3 options below for Norway, option 1, 2, 3. Let's have a look at the first sentence. Select the option that offers the best future for Norway's people and environment. So select the option, so one option you've got to pick, that offers the best future for Norway as people and its environment. Now your question might, well, I won't say that, but your question might say something along the lines of pick the option which is best for the population, pick the option which is best for the environment, pick the option which is best for the economy, or it might say people in the economy, people in the environment. Okay, so make sure you are aware of what you are choosing the option for. That is the most important thing. So make sure you underline what am I looking for, what is it best for, what is this option for. Then it's a justify question. We're going to show you how to do that. The final sentence there, it says use information from the resource booklet. So you've got to use evidence from the resource booklet and knowledge and understanding from the rest of your geography course to support your answer. So to get full marks in this answer, you would be required to use evidence throughout the booklet and bring in some knowledge from the rest of your course. So I'm going to give you some ideas about that. So raw, this is the structure I want you to follow, okay? R-A-W-R, raw, with a conclusion. Okay, raw with a conclusion. So what does raw stand for? The first R stands for the reason for your option. So you've got to get a piece of evidence and explain or give reason for the option that you've chosen. A stands for another reason for your option. So you've really put forward a strong argument because you've given me 2 paragraphs, one reason for and then another reason for. Okay, use a peel paragraph structure in each of them. Then you are going to do the third paragraph, a weakness of your option. That's the W in the raw, the weakness, and use evidence for that weakness. The final R in the raw is reasons against the other 2 options that you didn't choose. So they're going to be shorter paragraphs because there's 2 of them, but you're going to use evidence for each of them as well. Then your conclusion at the end. Okay, your conclusion must state the main reason that you've chosen your option and then put the main reason why you didn't choose the other 2 options. Job done. Okay. Then I want you to include evidence from multiple figures in the booklet, like that last sentence says in the question, and try and include any key phrases from other parts of your geography course, plus 4 Spag. Okay, so that's that section right there. Okay, guys, so this is how it's going to look. This is how the structure is going to look. It's going to be about 6 paragraphs. As you can see, I've broken them up into size. 1, 2, and 3 are all about your option that you've chosen. One reason for, another reason for, one weakness of your option. Then the 4th and 5th paragraph are going to be the reasons against the other 2 options. They're going to be smaller, you can see. And then your final paragraph is going to be your conclusion. So that's the structure there, following the guidelines of raw plus conclusion. Okay, so include evidence from multiple figures in the booklet and any other phrases or words from other parts of your geography course using specialist terminology. So I just wanted to give you an example of what the examiner's report says about some of the top answers from last year. So have a look at this one. It says, I'm just going to highlight the key points. This well-structured answer provides a perfect blend of resource booklet information, prior knowledge, and understanding and evaluative decision making. Then another comment from the examiner's report. It says, very knowledgeable candidates will sometimes provide an excellent evaluation of the issues, but neglect to use supporting evidence from the resource booklet. So don't neglect using supporting evidence from the resource booklet. That's what it's saying. Candidates need clear guidance that there should be sustained use of information from the resource booklet. So meaning it should be continuous, consistent, sustained use of information from the resource booklet throughout their final answer. So that's the examiner's report. So let's continue with this. The first step you're going to do then, when you get this answer, is summarize each option and then choose your option. So something along the lines of this. For this one, option 1 says, set an example to other countries by stopping all oil production together. So I've just summarized it with stop all. So I know that option 1 is talking about stopping all. Option 2, use up existing oil resources, but stop looking for new oil fields. So I'm going to summarize this with use all and then stop looking. Use all, then stop looking. The third option, continue to explore and develop new oil fields. Develop new, yeah? So one is saying stop all, one is saying use what you got, then stop all. The third one is saying develop new ones, keep going. So I've now summarized it. Now I've chosen, I've put a little star next to the option that I've chosen. Okay. Then your second step is going to be find the strongest evidence to support your option. You're going to find 2 or 3 pieces of evidence and then put a star next to it throughout the booklet. Remember that the last 2 figures that you kind of looked at for your previous answers, 8 markers, are really going to provide a lot of evidence that you need. There will be other substantial evidence throughout the booklet, but I don't want you to go back straight to the first page and start reading, the introduction in detail, looking for some piece of evidence, because most likely the evidence is going to be a bit later on, and the shorter figures with graphs and stuff, you can read them quickly. So make sure you are aware of this. Okay, so step 2 will be find the evidence to support your option. So go through your booklet, quickly go back and go, right, I want to use this to support my option. So for example, the option that I chose, option 2, use all the existing oil resources, but then stop looking for new ones. Okay, so I'm going to put a star next to 2 pieces of evidence, and that's going to formulate my first 2 paragraphs, right? Reason for your option, another reason for your option. Okay, and don't forget, make that link. Yes, that link is key. Are these pieces of evidence good for the question, which is select the option that offers the best future for Norway's people and its environment? So does my option help people and its environment? Not just the environment, but the people also. So essentially my option here says, look, you can use all your oil resources. That's going to help the people in terms of economy or finance, but then it's also going to help the environment because in the future we're going to stop. Okay. The third step then that you should do, find evidence that could be used against your option, i.e. its weakness. So mark that maybe with a circle, whatever symbol you want to use, just so you've gone through your evidence and you've marked it. So circle your weakness. So that's going to be your third paragraph. Fourth then is going to be find evidence against the other options, and then you're going to mark them as well, maybe put triangles next to them. So for example, option 1 here, obviously that's going to make up your 4th and 5th mini paragraphs. So option 1 is stopping all oil production. So I'm going to find some sort of evidence of why that's a bad idea. Option 3 is going to be continue exploring new oil fields. I'm going to find evidence of why that's a bad idea. I'm going to star them. That's going to make up then my 4th and 5th paragraph. Okay, so it should then obviously follow this, and then all you've got left to do is your conclusion, which we will talk about in a second. Okay, so this is all before you've even started writing. Okay, so you've prepared, you've gone through your booklet, you've made stars and circles and triangles, and you know what that relates to. Now you can take all of that and put it into paragraphs. Lastly then, what else? This is where the rest of your geography knowledge will come in. It's not going to play a huge part, but even if you use 1 or 2 words or a sentence, the examiner will notice this. So what else can you include from other parts of your geography course? It could be case studies, theories, models, physical processes. Bullet point that in your plan. So what I mean is this. For example, what else from the rest of your course? Here are some ideas. Could you use, for example, case studies? Could there be a link between case studies like the response to Katrina or India's development? What about theories? Rosto's stages of economic growth, Frank's dependency theory. What about Malthus saying that resources won't keep up with the population? Or what about the opposing side, Boserup, which she says that necessity is the mother of all inventions? Can I use that in there? What about physical processes, types of erosion, impact on the hydrological cycle, increase in flood risk? Is there a link there with this case study? Maybe. Essentially, what you're looking at is Can I make a link between this case study that they've asked me to look at and anything in my other topics? So natural hazards, development, urbanizing world, coast, rivers, UK cities, for example. Just take one and put that in your plan. Bullet point it in your plan so then you can use it. Then when we're looking at Spag for this 16 marker, okay, obviously go through it once you've completed it and look for keywords like government, environment. Often we forget these N's in these words. Capital letters, names of places, make sure there's capital letters there. Compass direction, north, east, south, west, make sure there's capitals there. Then also specialist terminology. Yeah. For example, globalization, sustainability, economic impact. Then can you upcycle phrases or words? So for example, if you've written something like problems for people, could this be upcycled to social issues? Lack of jobs, could this be high unemployment rate? Or if we're talking about long term, can we substitute that for the word sustainable? Because we know that's talking about long term. So see if you can upcycle any of these phrases or words and use specialist terminology. Okay, so this part, making this link, make sure you put this in your plan, okay? Just the one bullet point of what you're going to do. So look at this here. I've put a plan at the top. I've summarized each option. I've then write my plan. I'm going to write raw plus conclusion. That's my structure. That's my plan. And then I want to add a bullet point of what else I want to include. So for this one, I might include Bose-Rupp invention theory. Just put it there in your plan so you know you need to include it. Okay. Then a conclusion. Everyone asked me, what should I include in my conclusion? This is what you should do. Okay, in conclusion, the reason I have chosen option 2 is then state your strongest reason and the evidence you used. Then your next sentence or so is going to be, I have not chosen option 1 because, give me the main evidence or the reason, nor have I chosen option 3, that should be, because, and then give me the evidence. Okay, so you've summarized it in conclusion. Do not sound apologetic, sound strong in your decision. Remember, you are right. What I mean by that is often we come to a decision, then we say however, and we keep going on. However, I do realize that there is a weakness, da 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 da. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, the examiner knows you are a GCSE student and knows that there is no right answer to this question. There's always going to be a flaw somewhere. Okay, not in your answer, but in the actual decision of the government. There's always going to be a loser. Okay, remember that in the examiner's report they talk about this. There's always going to be winners and losers in this response, in this answer. So it's your job to be critical and to say, right, you've asked me the question, what's best for people and the environment? Well, this option is best for people and the environment. But if your question asked me what's best for the economy, full stop, then maybe I would have chosen a different option. However, maybe if it's for the economy, I have to think about long term as well. Short-term economy, this is the best option. But long-term economy, actually, you might want to invest in something else. So think about that, okay? But in conclusion, one reason and evidence of why you chose your option, sound quite, decisive in it, and reason why you didn't choose the other option and the other option, okay? Okay, then, so that's your main structure, raw, okay? Don't forget that. Reason for the first 3 are all about your option that you chose. The reason for your option, another reason for your option, a weakness of your option. The final R is reasons against the other 2 options, and then conclusion. Okay guys, that's your 16 mark justified question. Good luck.